So she was like, look at you over there shucking and jiving. Foreigners. Foreigners. You know, recently I've been, having discussions with people, and they have been, said that they are burned out, and they are burnt out when it comes down to teaching, but they also burnt out and they're just tired and they're frustrated and they're just exhausted with, trying to build connections with people here in Korea. Staying out of drama. They feel isolated. They're not accepted. So at this point, they're ready to go. And some of these people that I know who I'm referring to, they've been here for about 4, 5, 6+ years in Korea because they really like the country, but they just feel like they can't get that connection that they could get when they're back home. It's really hard to build connection here for them, and they're tired of being alone. They can't, they've tried the whole dating scene, which hasn't worked out, but they're at their wits' end, and it's within the next 6 months. I know more than a few people who are just packing up and they're going back home. In this video, I want to talk and highlight something that I really feel like a lot of people don't talk about, and it is the problematic foreigners in Korea. I'm going to try to make this as organized as I can, because in Korea right now, the population of foreigners it's just growing. It's growing at I would say at a substantial rate. It's so substantial that a lot of news outlets in Korea and all over the internet, they're talking about the growing population of foreigners in Korea. Now, with a lot of foreigners arriving inside of the country, there are going to be a lot of changes in which Korea or any country is going to start experiencing. Maybe laws are going to start changing. The way visas are processed is going to start changing. New visas are going to be created. Actually, 2 new visas were introduced. What I wanted to talk to you about is 5 problems that I see that plague the foreigner community here in Korea, which leaves a lot of people currently depressed. They feel alone. They do midnight runs, or they just leave and go back home because they can't cope with it. They can't deal with it. Koreaboo is a derogatory term used against foreigners for a foreign person who is obsessed with Korean culture. And they're obsessed to it to a point where they try to emulate or assimilate or even appropriate Korean culture, where to me they just forget who they are. And these are things like, they do things like eat kimchi every single day. They're always at a Korean barbecue place. Other than dating, the behaviors that they take on when they're dating, it's really cringy and it's really, really weird. This is problematic because it really sets a negative stereotype for foreigners in like workplaces a lot. For example, in my last workplace, they hired a new teacher, and she was there for maybe like 2 weeks, and we're at our desk, and I'm at my desk, and I get up and I'm walking by the desk, and I see this picture of like this Korean guy on this new girl's desk, and I'm like, Well, first of all, one thing, I will never be assigned as a Koreaboo. I don't know any Korean artists. I barely know Korean idols. I do educate myself on Korean culture because I'm here and I want to be respectful. But anyway, like, who is he? And I was like, oh, they just maybe want this maybe this girl's like boyfriend. And when I tell you, she was there 2 weeks, guys, 2 weeks. I ended up seeing her like a couple hours later, and I just was like, oh, hey, I was like, oh, like, who's he? Is that like your boyfriend? And she's like, no, I wish. So like a few hours later, the lady that was like laughing in the corner, who I was like really cool with, she came up to me and she was like, Josh, like, I heard you ask her about that picture. She was like, yeah, I know who that is. She knew what Korean idol that was. I really forgot, but by the time I had asked her about the picture, the women in the office had already labeled her as a Koreaboo. Needless to say that her experience was not the best experience there, and I know that they're not extending her contract. They're looking for a reason to fire her, even though I'm not at the school. I got this information literally within the last 6 months of me leaving. So, like, being a Koreaboo, that's not really something that you want to do. Foreigners don't even want to be around you if you are considered to be a Koreaboo, because other Koreans, they just don't like it. Like, it's kind of like, for me, being black, if I see a white person or a Korean person trying to be black, I'm not going to want to be around you. Here in Korea, there is like connections, but then there are subgroups in the connections, and they don't like to like mix and blend, which is crazy. But number 2 is disregard to other foreigners. This is so annoying to me because if you don't know the language, the first person that you're going to lean on is going to be someone who either speaks the same language as you, someone who has been here long enough to help guide you. Here, there is like no mixing of friends. You cannot be black, you cannot be African American and think you're going to build a connection with Africans. Now, we already have our issues amongst each other, even in America. It's really hard for African Americans and Africans to be friends, but there's even like location based, like not mixing of friends. If you live in Pyeongtaek, you're not going to have friends in Ilsan. If you live in Pyeongtaek, you're not going to have friends in Seoul. If you have a group in Gangnam, that's your Gangnam group. You're not mixing friends in Itaewon. And this is amongst the foreigners, not the Koreans. Not the Koreans. There's no mixing of friends. You know, like, there could be a group of Italians, you know, and that's their one set group. And then there'll be another group of Italians in the same city, but just like the school you go to, the location that you live in, that's your friend group. That is your friend group. And even if you try to make friends, and you do, you're going to be put in a position where you have to choose. And that friendship probably not going to last long. I don't know anyone in Korea who has friends outside of their school. And if they do, they don't see that person very often. They don't. This is going to be a short one. I have not too much to say this, and it's probably going to come across as like really negative, and maybe the ones who look at this video and be like, he don't even know Koreans. I've lived around them enough. I work with enough of them. Number 3 is wanting to be accepted. All I'm going to tell you is, go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, look at the videos of the guys who I don't even like, because they're controversial too. They will complain about a foreigner, but they go to the streets and they ask questions about foreigners.
But I always see videos on TikTok or Instagram, people complaining and saying this and that about Korea. And I'm like, if you don't like Korea, you can simply f*** off. We don't care if you do or not.
I went to this cafe in Korea versus I experienced this racism and homophobia in Korea. This is going to get like 10 times more views.
Korean men this, Korean. I am so tired. Like, can you just people to stop? I am so tired of Korean men this, Korean men that.
I don't understand foreigners in this country. Go to YouTube, go to TikTok, go to Instagram, go to all those platforms, and look at the videos of the foreigners who ask the other foreigners questions about Koreans. And when they ask them questions like, do you feel accepted amongst the Korean community? 100% of these people will say no. You will never be accepted amongst Koreans. No matter how much Korean you know, no matter who you marry, they will be nice to you, but you will always be 외국인. 외국인 is Korean for foreigner. You will always be addressed as a foreigner. You will always be a foreigner. The problem with the foreigners is, back to the other thing, they disregard other foreigners because they want their clawing and their scratching to be accepted amongst the Koreans. And I don't know why you're doing it. I'm laughing when I say it because why are you so thirsty for this? Why do you crave this acceptance? I laugh at these people. I'm so sorry. I laugh because, like, I would never do this in my life. I'm never going to plead and beg. I would never do a lot of the things that I see the foreigners are doing to be accepted by Koreans. Never. Forgetting who you are. You know, my first year here, the head teacher, my first boss, he told me to get advice from her. That woman forgot she was black. Any African American in America, you know our experiences. y'all know we have like this black university. And let me quickly explain black university, because I've said this. There could be, let's say a zombie apocalypse is going on, right? There could be 2 black people in a large room full of Koreans. The 2 black people will stick together. They will stick together. We ain't got to know each other. If we connect eyes, we're going to meet up some type of way, and we're going to help each other out. We're Hercules and Aeolus. We're Xena and Gabrielle. That's the black university. And I was the other black man at that school. And when I tell you, this woman left me high and dry. She was not trying to look out. She actually would like talk about me in a very bad way. I actually called her out on it. You know, she lied. I'm going to talk from the black experience when I talk about this. Not accepting Koreans can be of dark-skinned people. And I'll get into that in my next video. I'm going back to like, you will never be accepted. And you want to be accepted for us black people. You will want to be accepted so bad. You will immerse yourself amongst a group of people who are probably making fun of you. But there's this thing that Koreans do. They'll be like, oh, I want to make black friends. Okay. And they'd be like, yeah, I love rap music. Like, the only music black people listen to is rap. And teaching certain Koreans terms that they can use as a weapon against you being black and other black people. And allowing them to say certain vocabulary. Whew! I think the last thing that I'm going to talk about here is the drama. The drama amongst the foreigners in the Hagwons. It's so bad. The Koreans, they use it. It's just like, you see how they act? They just be like, you see how they act? You see all the drama amongst them? Even though the Koreans, they have drama amongst them too. But they keep it on lock and key. You won't even know. Foreigners, big mouths. Y'all just talk. For example, I'm going to talk about this issue that I experienced. I'm not going to say what school it was. I'm just going to talk about it. So I was at my job, and I was in a room. I was looking through some papers. Me and another black leader. And this white girl walks in. And I'm like, I ain't going to lie. I'm doing like a little, like, moving with my like shoulders, and I'm like not filing the papers, I'm separating the papers. Anyway, so she was like, look at you over there shucking and jiving. Foreigners. So I immediately was like, hey, first of all, I wasn't the only one that had that like response. The other black girl, we both looked at the white girl, was like, hey, like, you can't say that to black people. Like, that's not what you do. Like, you can't say that. And she was like, oh, I'm like an old soul or something. Cause she was from like Southern Texas. What I did was, because I'm gonna be professional. Okay, you're an old soul. Cool. Got it. Understood. I'm gonna keep it moving. I basically took that as, okay, like, okay, so you racist. Okay, that's cool. You want to be that way? You can be that way. I'm not going to address you because we at work. But I know that inside of work, I could be cordial with you. But once we leave out of them doors, I don't fuck with you. So we'll never be friends. From my education, from what I learned, shucking and jiving was a term that slave masters used when they would basically tell the slave while he's shucking corn, like jive, like dance. Be happy that you're shucking corn. Shuck and jive. Shuck the corn and dance. We are at this dinner. Nothing but foreigners. No Koreans. And I learned that there have been other terms used by people who are not black that have been said at certain events. And I'm like, what is going on here? Why are we, the N-word that's being said? Certain jokes are being made about darker skinned people. Foreigners. I was like, but it was kind of like a share. We just kind of like reminiscing on like bad times. And I was like, oh yeah, like this situation happened with me. And one of the black girls was like, what? And everybody was like, well, what's shuck and jive? So I explained shuck and jive. And then when I tell you, the entire table flipped. They was like, oh no, we can't say that. We need to educate this one. We need to do this. Someone was like, I'm not friends with this person anymore. it went from like a happy conversation to just problematic. It was problematic. People wanted to educate this girl. People didn't want to be friends with her. There was someone at the table that was trying to defend her, like maybe she didn't know. But what she said, it just came across as like she was a little racist. But then another, white girl, she come out her mouth and say like, every time we have a conversation about a marginalized community, you XYZ are always in defense of the person who's wrong. And I was like, dang, like, it's situations like this. Foreigners don't stick together. They don't stick together. They just fight amongst each other. It's so toxic. And it's unbearable. And I don't even deal with it. I don't even try to make foreigners as friends. This is just one of the many instances of the arguments, the fights, the things that go on. I knew these three teachers. And teacher A and B, they did not like teacher C. But teacher C had a girlfriend. Teacher A and B wanted to use teacher C for teacher C's girlfriend. That way she could hook them up with other Korean girls. But they didn't like the guy. Why would you even do that? You don't even like him. You see the pettiness in the foreigners. It's crazy. Like the things that we do to each other in this country when we literally have support groups with each other. There's love. There's every expat on Facebook. Moving to another country, no matter what you do, is very hard. Because you're leaving what you know, what you've lived around, what you've created structure, to go somewhere where you don't have any of that. On top of that, you're put around people who are trying to beat you down, who try to use you, who are causing problems, who don't care about your state of mind. They only care about themselves. Being a foreigner in Korea, it's not for the weak, y'all. It's not for the weak. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching my video and this rant. Sorry for this to be so negative, but I'll be honest with you, there are not that many positives about interactions with foreigners in Korea. And to be honest with you, I don't know many foreigners who have more than 1 to 2 foreigner friends. They just want to travel on their vacations. They want to collect their paycheck. Maybe they have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and that's about it. If you're watching this video, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. You know what I'm saying? Just hit the subscribe button and help support my channel. Thank you again for watching. I will see you guys next week with a new video. Instead of talking about the foreigners, we're going to be talking about the Koreans.